Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. Just came across a beautiful hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so I thought I'll share it with you guys. I feel today's society has become a lot more individualized. We spend extra time by ourselves. One of the side effects of that, which I've noticed, is we're less considerate to those around us. So we tend to use them more than we need to. Sometimes you're watching a YouTube video or listening to a podcast and we ask someone to do a favor. Okay, it's not an issue, but then we ask again and then we ask again. And then it does affect the person and perhaps they don't like it. Now, it doesn't have to be us doing that. It works the other way as well. Sometimes someone's asked us, can you get me a glass of water? Now, we wouldn't mind had it not been the 100th time they've asked us this. And you think to yourself, well, why can't they do this themselves half the times? Now, regarding this, there's a statement of the Prophet ﷺ. As you know, the Prophet ﷺ was very generous, and he was known throughout Arabia for his generosity. As a result, people being people, there were some who wanted to take advantage. These people were of sound mind and body. They could easily work themselves, but they would come to the Prophet ﷺ and ask him, and the Prophet ﷺ would give because he was generous. Then after a bit, they would come and ask for more, and then the Prophet ﷺ would give, and they would go and then come back and ask for more, and the Prophet ﷺ would give. So regarding this, there's a hadith by Ibn Hibban, and Imam Ahmad reports, Abu Ya'la reports it as well. It's a reliable hadith, that a group of people came to the Prophet ﷺ and he gave them. Then after some time they came back and he gave them. Then after some time again they came back and they asked, and the Prophet ﷺ gave to them what they asked for. But then the Prophet ﷺ said something really interesting. He goes, there's certain people I give to, and they take nothing from me except the hellfire. Now Umar radiallahu understood what the Prophet ﷺ meant, because they're asking more than they need to, and they're inconveniencing the Prophet ﷺ, because he would never say no, no matter who asked. So Umar radiallahu said to the Prophet ﷺ, why don't you just not give anything to them if it's getting them closer to the hellfire? So the Prophet ﷺ said, they refuse to stop asking me, and Allah has refused to make me into a stingy person. So the Prophet ﷺ would give regardless. Now that's interesting, because sometimes we think, okay, the person has said yes, it's not an issue. Well, it still is. Like, we play football on Wednesdays and someone gets fouled and they're a humble, shy person, so they won't call for a foul and the game will go on. And we'll think, oh, the person who's fouled will say, oh yes, he didn't claim for it, so let's continue. Well, he didn't, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could call you back on that foul on the Day of Judgment, because you upset the person in how rough you were, how inconsiderate you were to them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never gets a decision wrong. Keep that in mind. And as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, La mubaddila li hukmihi, no one can change what Allah decrees. So if we are called into account on the Day of Judgment for these little things we do, then we can get in serious trouble. Na'udhu billah. So going forward, let us all try to keep this in mind. In fact, the Prophet ﷺ tells us that if you can try to not ask anyone anything, then do so. And let's try to improve ourselves in that way, that these little things, where if it's a glass of water or something similar, let us do it by ourselves if we can. And the final thing I'll mention is the Prophet ﷺ would teach his companions, again this is a reliable hadith, that if one of them was to drop something from their means of travel, a horse or a donkey or a camel, that he should get off his camel and pick it up rather than ask people. So being independent is part of being a good Muslim, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me and everyone listening the tawfiq to become better human beings in this regard. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.